apa yang sebenarnya terjadi dengan Hussein Farhat. Yes, akhir-akhir ini lagi rame banget guys soal Hussein Farhat yang bikin pengakuan tentang kepemakaiannya terhadap barang terlarang.
So you guys have probably seen my transformation, and the serious accusations around it, and rightfully so. And I just wanted to tell you guys that everything was planned from day one. I decided to hop on gear. It was a small cycle, 300 EQ, 300 tests, 300 Masteron, a little bit of Anavar and MK as well. And I did this for 16 months. I planned everything all along because I knew I was gonna, Greg was gonna make a video on me at some point. So as soon as it was the 16-month line, I hopped off and reached out to Greg a couple months later. So it doesn't show on the blood work.
Awalnya gue bingung guys, ini maksudnya apa ya? Kok awalnya katanya natural, tiba-tiba bikin video pengakuan, udah gitu mereka klarifikasi di akhir video, dan bilang kalau semua itu cuma rekayasa buat naikin engagement. Kan gila ya? Yang akhirnya ya sedikit mencoreng nama, sekaligus menurunkan tingkat kepercayaan audiens. Entah ke Hussein Farhat, Greg Doucette, ataupun Jeff Nippard. Hanya karena akal-akalan si Hussein sampai si Greg ini buat bikin drama biar ningkatin engagement doang. Dan karena Jeff Nippard udah pernah bikin video tentang Hussein, setelah kejadian ini, ibaratnya Jeff Nippard itu kayak ditampar guys sama mereka berdua. Karena dengan itu, Jeff Nippard juga jadi kena imbasnya guys. Dan kalian tahu apa? Kalau kalian nonton video Hussein Farhat yang ini, kocaknya di situ mereka juga sambil jualan guys. Kacau. Jadi inti dari video itu dibagi jadi 3 part. Bagian pertama adalah drama yang mereka berdua buat, yang bilang bahwa Hussein ini fake Natty, dan si Husseinnya pun mengakui hal itu. Yang mana sampai situ aja orang udah banyak yang ngambil kesimpulan guys, kalau itu beneran. Kan juga nggak sedikit orang yang nontonnya itu setengah-setengah. Di video gua pun ada aja guys yang mungkin nontonnya nggak selesai, tapi udah keburu ambil kesimpulan dan komen. Nah ini nih yang bikin semuanya jadi ramai dan kacau. Dan dia kayak yang tadi gua bilang, selain mencoreng nama, menurunkan tingkat kepercayaan, plus kabar yang nggak jelas alias kesalahpahaman pun jadi menyebar luas guys. Dan banyak orang yang nge-cross check lagi tentang kasus ini. Udah gitu, di situ Greg juga nambahin dengan bilang kalau dia kagum sama Hussein dari yang awalnya pakai semua stack yang dibilang tadi selama 16 bulan dan dia berhenti. Tapi si Hussein ini masih bisa mempertahankan semua masa ototnya. Plus, pas dicek darah, itu semua nggak terdeteksi guys. Dan nggak semua orang bisa kayak gitu, karena biasanya dari yang awalnya pakai gear dan memutuskan buat berhenti, itu pasti dia kehilangan banyak masa otot guys. Nah, tapi si Hussein ini enggak. Kurang lebih itu yang Greg bilang, dan itu juga jadi penguat drama ini guys. Tadi kan udah tuh yang dibagi jadi 3 part. Part pertamanya soal itu, dan part keduanya soal klarifikasi Hussein Farhat yang bilang itu cuma video pancingan doang buat ngetes pasar. Udah gitu dia juga bilang dia siap dites kapan aja sama siapa aja, dan kalau dia terbukti gagal dalam tes alias dia terbukti nggak natural, dia siap ngasih uang $100.000 atau sekitar 1,6 miliar rupiah. Bahkan dia naikin taruhannya sampai $500.000 atau sekitar 8 miliar rupiah lebih.
I've offered $100,000 for whoever wants to come and test me for a full year if they want.
They can test you as much as you want, and you've offered now $500,000 if he ever fails a blood work test, drug test, for anything. So clearly he's not taking anything.
I lost my Natty card. Drone deserves a downfall.
This is Hussein Farhat, a pathological liar. He simply decided to juice from day one and to lie to everyone about being natural. This is straight up only possible with performance-enhancing drug.
I saw that he just mentioned Derek for More Plates, More Dates. He said that if he was going to review the blood work, that he would believe it. And I saw that Derek actually blood tested Andrew Tate recently, and Tate offered him $50,000 if he failed a single blood test. So here's my offer to Derek, $100,000. All right, I'm going to double what Andrew put. You sure could test me whatever you want. Test me whenever, wherever, for as long as you want. And if I fail a single one of these tests, I will pay you $100,000 cash. And if I refuse to do any of these tests, I will give you $100,000 too. And you know what I'm going to do actually? I'm going to DM Derek right now.
Dan kocaknya lagi, di part 3, Coach Roy juga klarifikasi yang bilang bahwa Hussein Farhat itu sebenarnya lifetime natural dan jelasin semua rencana mereka ini. Dan sebelum video Hussein Farhat ini diupload, Greg udah komen ini dulu guys, yang mana itu bertujuan untuk memantik emosi netizen yang bikin penasaran, tambah panas juga, dan ya boom kayak sekarang. Dan sejauh video ini dibuat, videonya Hussein Farhat udah mencapai ratusan ribu yang nonton guys. Udah gitu juga berimbas ke isi komen Instagramnya Hussein Farhat. Jadi banyak yang komen kayak gini guys. Tapi ya itu salah satu konsekuensi dari tindakan yang kurang bijak dari yang mereka lakuin.
I know the issue with Hussein isn't his size, it's the speed of his transformation that's suspicious.
Fake natural epidemic is getting worse. never played a sport in his life and then just blew up like an IFBB pro.
This kid is obviously taking a lot of stuff. Hussein's fake claims to be natural.
One explanation is that he took steroids for the first year or two and then came off them before the blood test in my last video.
Call whoever you want. I'm ready to fast everything fast. I can't drink blood work. Today, I'm going to go and get tested. It's C that you're natural. I told them that I'm down to get tested throughout the year, right? So whenever they want, they call me up. They say, hey, we're getting tested. And I'm going to keep getting stronger, keep looking bigger. Hopefully, this is enough to prove you guys that I'm actually natural.
His blood work is normal. His FFMI is normal. And his transformation, while suspicious, is possible. Okay, the internet thinks both of these influencers are lying about being natural, and I'm not a fan of fake natties, so I came up with a plan. I invited them to fly out to film a workout together, but at the last minute, said I'd like to blood test them with only 48 hours notice. I'd have a medical doctor measure their testosterone levels, compare them to mine, and see whether or not they fall within the natural range. Let's start with Hussein. Everyone thinks he's on steroids because of this transformation, which took him just 3 years to achieve. Definitely suspicious, so let's see. Most natural lifters fall somewhere between 200 and 850 nanograms per deciliter. I'm at 470 right now. Guys who enhance will often go well above 5,000. Hussein came in at 689. Julian is a whole other animal though, especially at just 19. And going into the blood test, I was honestly very skeptical about his natty status. His testosterone came back at 672, and all their other hormones were normal too. It's always possible someone used in the past, but Julian wants to be Mr. Olympia one day, so if he really is natty now, we might look back on his physique and think maybe he just was 1 in a billion.
Kalian bisa lihat di postingan Chef Nippard yang ini. Isinya mirip sama yang tadi gue bilang. Tapi ini juga jadi pelajaran buat Chef ke depannya. Jadi intinya gini guys. Si Chef ini cukup kecewa dengan kejadian ini, yang mana dia jadi kena imbasnya karena udah membela Hussein dalam klaimnya si Hussein ini. Dan menurutnya, dalang atau otak dari semua ini ya si Coach Greg. Dia yang udah merencanakan semua ini, dan ya, ini memunculkan atau menyebabkan banyak keraguan buat orang-orang yang jadi followersnya Jeff dan secara keseluruhan buat penikmat dunia binaraga. Dan si Jeff juga nyesel karena udah masukin Hussein ke videonya, yang mana dari kejadian ini cukup berimpact atau merugikan binaraga yang benar-benar natural sekaligus memperkuat stigma fake Natty. Nah, tapi di satu sisi, si Jeff ini masih bisa dipercaya guys, dari segi keilmuan ilmiah atau sainsnya, dan menegaskan semua yang dibawakan itu berdasarkan ilmu dan tes. Jadi bisa dibilang kalau semua yang Jeff Nippard bawakan adalah suatu hal yang valid. Dan buat kedepannya, Jeff bakal tetap membawakan ilmu-ilmunya. Tapi mungkin nggak bakal bawa orang lagi kayak sebelumnya. Karena mungkin ini juga bikin dia cukup mikir buat nggak kayak gitu lagi.
Hussein Farhat got exposed for taking steroids, the biggest fake natural of all time. We had everyone defending this man. We had Jeff Nippard saying that Hussein was natural. Even myself, I'd met him in person and I was like, okay, this guy's overly huge. And he told me to my face, I'm natural. So I'm like, okay, why would this guy lie to me? I take steroids, I don't really care. But who exposed him? Apparently Hussein had been taking steroids for 16 months straight to make this transformation. So 16 months of steroids. Well, he was exposed by none other than his business partner, Greg Doucette, which is so weird. Okay, he says, turns out Hussein was actually on a 16-month cycle and he took a lot of steroids and MK677 and he has a certain type of polymorphism that gets him to keep all the gains. Now, why would Greg Doucette expose his protege? I have no fucking clue. That is so weird. I'm assuming Greg is trolling. I'm not gonna lie. But Jeff Nippard, in light of this news, made a post. I'm incredibly disappointed for defending Hussein Farhat, but he does say in this long line of text that he does believe Hussein's physique is achievable naturally. And I mean, this photo is definitely achievable naturally. I don't know about this. But yeah, I think Greg is trolling, to be honest. I'll keep you guys updated. So Hussein Farhat, the most controversial fake natural in the world, has just exposed himself. He made a video, I'm coming out, the truth. And no, he's not coming out as gay or bi. He's coming out as a fake natural. Yesterday, Greg Doucette made this comment on a YouTube video explaining that Hussein Farhat, his business partner, was actually on a 16-month cycle. He took lots of steroids and MK677 to become a famous fitness influencer and scam everybody. This had the fitness industry so up in arms that Jeff Nippard himself issued a full apology. I mean, look at this goddamn paragraph. Of course, I covered this, but unlike most of the people who came out of the woodwork to shit on Hussein, I kind of figured it was a troll. And after watching this entire 15-minute video, it turns out that it was just a joke. Basically, him coming out as not natural was a satire and was making fun of all the influencers who are quick to make videos, kind of like the one I made, and just shit on someone without a shred of evidence. He mentions the fact that he offered anyone $100,000 to test him, and he's now updating the offer to $500,000. Now, obviously, Hussein's transformation is unbelievable. And of course, the polymorphism thing doesn't make sense because they just made it up. So that's not an excuse of why he could keep his gains. So if Hussein really is natural, I honestly feel bad. But at the same time, I don't blame people for not thinking this is natural. At the end of the day, it should just teach us that we shouldn't care so much about whether someone's natural or not.
Earlier today, I decided to do a social experiment. I shouldn't even say experiment because I already knew what the results would be. But obviously Hussein Farhat is in the hot seat right now, and a lot of people are claiming that he must be a fake natural, which I completely understand. I mean, take a look at this. So what I did was I posted up various shots to my Instagram story, excluding his face, to see if people thought that he was a fake natural. But I progressively went from his weaker body parts to his stronger body parts. So the first photo I threw up was a photo of his legs. And I asked the exact same question every time. I said, is this naturally achievable in 3 years? And for this, people obviously agreed that it was possible naturally. So then I upped the ante and I showed his back and asked, is it achievable naturally in 3 years? And obviously there's more no's here than there were before, but the majority still said yes. Then I really decided to up it and I showed his shoulders. But this is just a still shot taken from him flexing in a video. It's not an actual edited photo. And look how the scales have tipped. Now below half of the people believe that it's possible naturally. And then I went for the big one, the perfect pump, lighting, and highly edited overall detail-wise photo. And suddenly next to nobody believes that he's natural. My point is, right now, the majority of people aren't even arguing the same topic. A lot of people are basing their opinions off of these highly edited photos that really showcase his strongest points. But then they will ignore everything else. Don't get me wrong, it is a highly impressive physique. But if I showed you this video and then told you that this is the same person around the same time as this, like, it's not even close to the same overall look. All of this being said, is it possible that he's using? Absolutely. But at least know that this isn't what he looks like. And that's not meant to be mean. He still looks great, but not like this. TNFO.
Has anyone seen Hussein without the extreme lighting and editing? That's what I'm saying, so hear me out. This is the picture most people have seen of him. Looking absolutely sick, juicy, veins popping, sick down lighting, best pump ever. The clip he's always using in his videos, and rightly so, he looks sick. But this is what people aren't really seeing. This is him in very average lighting, not shredded to the bone, no pump, just posing normally. This is really just a lesson to everyone how much of a difference editing, lighting, and a pump and being shredded makes to your physique. And I'm also not taking anything away from him. This is also a decent physique, probably looks better than me when I'm in average lighting. But we can all admit, this looks a lot more naturally achievable than this. And to just give you my own example, this is me in some half decent lighting, but pretty good pump, pretty lean. And this is me after the gym, no pump, no good lighting, after I've done my cardio. Like this. And I'm admittedly not natural, so take that for what it is.
Hussein Farhat, maybe the biggest fake Natty controversy right now. A crazy transformation. The guy is shredded out of his mind, drier than Mike Israel's humor, and he claims to be natural. The internet says otherwise. Based on his gains and how quickly he built his physique, he could be either, though it's most likely that he isn't natural.
I told them that I'm down to get tested throughout the year, right? So whenever they want, they call me up, they say, hey, we're getting tested. Like I said, I'm always down to get tested whenever, wherever.
Where some people are saying he faked his blood work.
He films himself doing the blood work. They asked permission. They said no. They filmed anyway. I would estimate the chances that Hussein had somebody else fake the blood test for him to be roughly 1 in a million.
How does it feel to have like hundreds of thousands of people think that you're not natural?
If everybody thought I was natural, I just wouldn't be where I am.
If this guy is natural, it's perhaps the greatest before and after transformation of all time.
I'm down to get tested anytime.
Based on the blood work, based on the evidence, this guy, 1 in a million genetics. Do you now believe him? I never believed him.
The time's gonna pass by anyway. So like I ordered dumbbells and I started training, and like in 3 months I was like huge.
Take that first step.
Alright, so everything you just saw in the last video with Greg was a joke. It was planned to be a video where me and Greg make fun of everyone that's saying that I'm not natural, because it just doesn't make sense, alright? That was the whole point. We're talking about polymorphisms. We're talking about me being on gear for 16 months and hopping off and keeping all the gains. It doesn't work that way and doesn't make sense. And the whole point was to show how dumb it is by us being extremely serious the whole time to just make fun of the people that are talking about it. And honestly, like, I feel like they're getting paid to make videos on me and saying that I'm not natural. I've tried everything in my power to show that I'm a lifetime natural. So I'll look into this camera and say, I've never done any sort of steroids, I've never done any SARMs, any peptides, nothing. The thing is, Greg made a comment on a video and he said that I was going to film that video soon and it was going to come out. And that's when, literally today, all of the people that I know, like Connor, Jeff, TNF, made a video on me saying that I'm not natural with absolutely no evidence. It's just a comment of Greg, but just Greg saying that I'm not natural, everybody believes it. After everything that I've tried to do, passing blood work, I've offered $100,000 for whoever wants to come and test me for a full year if they want to. Anabolic stick, offered him this and he didn't show up, kind of out, which is fine. Connor offered to pay for all of the blood works, all of the tests for the next year, and he didn't show up. But again, that was the whole point of the video initially, was just to make fun of people. And now I guess we're seeing like people's true faces. I guess everybody's coming out now and they're against me. Some people, for example, Jeff, I totally get how it could affect his reputation. He was, you know, defending me in the comments in that video that he made. And I just want to say, honestly, without Greg making that comment, I feel like the video would have made a lot more sense, because it just goes through like everything. And at the end, after watching, you're like, all right, that makes sense. They're just trolling or they're just kidding. Like, what is a polymorphism. If you do want to test me, if you do want to pull up, I will up it to $500,000 now. All right, $500,000. If I fail a single blood work in a full year, if I fail one over the year, I'll refund every single person all of the tests that they paid for, and also I'll give them $500,000 on top of it. That's my invite to everybody watching this. And if you guys want to learn how to build your own fitness business, obviously you can see I know how to drive attention. You can apply and work with me down below. I'm going to put the link for it, HusseinFarhat.com. And also if you want to cop some Momentous, this is drop 2. You can go and get drop 1 down below in the link. Just click on it.
Hussein Farhat. There's no way I think this guy's natural. I hated being skinny, so I dedicated myself every single day. 19 months later, so you went from around 120 to 180, so about 60 pounds of muscle in about 2.5 years. And just so you know, that's how much muscle I put in my whole life. Based on the blood work, based on the evidence, he's clearly natural.
No, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I don't have really good genetics, but I was only able to tell because I was consistent for 3 years straight, because I followed my plan, because I never took a break. I was consistent, and that's the only reason why I was able to see that I have good genetics. You're not going to be able to tell if you don't put in the work, if you don't have a good plan.
What are some telltale signs of somebody who is fake Natty?
The hardest thing to do is that anyone can have a sign of something. So there's this kid, Hussein Farhat, he has 2-point-something million followers on Instagram.
I've met him before.
He's like, I put on 44 pounds of muscle. I said, he's a fake Natty. He's like, how can I prove I'm not Natty? Just send me your blood work. And he does it like the next day. And like, he's natural.
You can believe that I'm not natural, fine. But would it really help you with your life? Like, would it actually help you get closer to your goal? Again, you can believe me. You cannot believe me. All the proof is there. Yeah, I've competed in natural shows. I've got tested.
He's proven to be natural and they just hate it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you explain this guy now? He's like, here's a photo of me when I was 6 and he had like the same thing when he was younger. Based on the blood work, based on the evidence, he's clearly natural. Do you now believe him? I never believed him.
I love the message that I push in my content, which is like, stay natural. The natural's natural. The reason I started training, obviously, was I was looking at like David Blade, Lex Little, all these people that are like, well, natural from what they say. It just gave me that sense of like, oh, okay, I can do it too. And I think now I'm giving that message to other people.
It's hard to believe. Like, he's bigger than me. I trained my whole life. I'm not even natural myself.
So if I can help people start, I'll do it.
Hussein is a lifetime natural. I know of no polymorphism. This is a made-up word that I don't even know what it technically means. I said it so many times in the video. Now, one thing I did was I posted a comment on, I forget the guy's name. He has over 3 million followers. I wanted people to go read the comment and be like, oh my God, Hussein is going to post something about being a fake Natty. And so I did that to stir up more controversy and to try to get him more views. Turns out that a lot of people were disappointed. He's lying crying, I can't get over this, I'm completely devastated, and I didn't think that through. I was just thinking, how do I create more controversy to get more views, more drama? And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have the first fake Natty, the first fake Natty? That's how you say it. And so I posted the comment there. I shouldn't have posted the comment. People are too upset. And so that was my mistake. I shouldn't have posted the comment. And so listen, guys, this is the honest truth. If you take a 16-month of steroids and you put on, say, 45 pounds of muscle or whatever, and you stop, you're going to lose a shit ton of muscle. Now, some people, I was talking to TNF, he says, well, no, if you only get to your natural genetic potential, you can keep those gains. Now, I know people who have used steroids and done this, and when they stop, they lose about half of their gains. And so if you think that you can just jump on this crazy first year cycle and put on like 40 pounds of muscle, or even if it's 30, you're probably going to lose half. And what's going to happen, so you know, LH and FSH is going to be tanked. Your testosterone levels are going to go in the toilet. You're likely not going to get an erection. You're going to feel like garbage. It's going to be horrendous. It could take you perhaps a year to get back to normal. And so don't try to be the fake Natty and just go on gear for the first year and make all kinds of gains and lose it, because it's going to be a nightmare for you, and it's very, very unhealthy, and I strongly don't recommend it. It's all about being natural, guys. That is the truth after all. Until next time, I am out.
Ya, tentunya gue juga geleng-geleng kepala sih guys sama rencana mereka berdua ya. Maksud gue, buat bikin drama dan nyari engagement aja sampai segitunya gitu loh. Yang mana kanan kirinya jadi banyak yang ngesenggol. Dan gue juga setuju sama respon dari Jeff Nippard di postingannya. Kayak yang tadi gue bilang guys. Dan jujur, menurut gue, rencana ini benar-benar bodoh dan kurang memberikan dampak atau efek jangka panjangnya. Yang bikin bayang-bayang fake Natty itu Pengakuan guys. Karena nama coach kayak gitu kan udah gede ya di dunia fitness dan dunia bendaraga. Dan dari kasus ini jadi banyak pendapat yang seliweran. Apalagi kalau yang nyebarin informasi itu salah paham, kan repot guys. Jadi jangan heran lah kalau kedepannya, karena efek ini orang tuh jadi lebih banyak yang curiga dan lebih banyak tuduhan tanpa bukti. Kacau lah. Dan menurut gua, kalau mau bikin drama, ya dipikir dulu yang matang. Sampai ke efek jangka panjangnya apa. Lebih banyak impact baik atau buruknya. Jangan cuma mikirin cuan doang gitu loh. Contohnya kayak kasus Timothy kemarin tuh. Pasti dia nggak mikir sampai sejauh itu. Karena masyarakat dunia ini luar biasa banyak dan beragam guys. Jadi akan sangat sulit buat menyadarkan atau memperbaiki kembali citra atau pemahaman yang udah menyebar luas. Apalagi kalau menyebarnya udah lama. Yang akhirnya mereka terjebak di lingkaran atau pemahaman yang salah dan keliru. Gitu guys. Tapi ya udahlah. Dari gue sih jadiin pelajaran aja buat teman-teman yang lain, terutama para influencer atau content creator, biar lebih mempertimbangkan lagi keputusan atau rencana yang bakal dibuat. Tapi gimana guys? Apa yang kalian tangkap dan pelajari dari kasus Hussein Farhat kali ini? Coba tulis di kolom komen.